Twin Flame Tribe. This is Johan Conradi. I'm a Twin Flame coach and mentor, and today I'm going to answer one of the questions I've received regarding Twin Flame relationships, whether Twin Flame relationships are demonic in nature. I've got some views around that I'll gladly share with you guys, and I hope that you find this video useful. Subscribe to my channel, like, hit that notification bell so that you'll be informed of new videos that's coming out. I specialize in South African twins, but I gladly share this information with all twins around the world. So twin flame relationships, are they demonic in nature? I think to answer that question, first let's look at what a twin flame is. So twin flame is one soul that is incarnated into two bodies on the earth plane for the sole purpose of ascension. When the soul comes close to the time of ascension, the twins meet up in the 3D for the purpose of ascension. This brings with it very, let's call it dramatic and extreme dualistic type emotions. So initially in the meetup, the twins are deeply in love. It's like meeting the best version of yourself, knowing yourself. The twins are deeply connected because they are in fact the same soul, so it's not really a connection, it is actually being the same being, but polar opposites of each other in the earth plane. And this is quite interesting because initially for the first couple of weeks everything goes very well. You're meeting the best version of yourself, then the triggering starts, and actually the twins start shining a big old spotlight on each other's hurts and pains, and this is less pleasant, and it becomes even less pleasant. Twins are actually, can be big jerks to one another. Eventually this becomes too much for one of the twins and they run away. And then the remaining twin, or the divine feminine twin, which is the positive polarity twin, not necessarily anything to do with gender, then leads the Ascension Journey. During this phase is actually where the question originates, whether twin flame relationships are in fact demonic in nature, because the remaining twin is absolutely obsessed. It feels like you're being possessed. You are obsessively thinking of your twin, of how to try and get them back in your life. It feels like you cannot live without them, that you've lost everything, that you are totally being possessed by another being. You feel them, you think their thoughts, you try everything. During this phase, usually your behavior becomes erratic, irrational, it doesn't seem like you. But all of this is actually natural. It's there to drive ascension through the dark night of the soul. By obsessing about your twin for a long time, it actually drives more triggering, more mirroring. It actually helps you to shine a spotlight on the things within yourself that are actually wrong. You are confronted with the illusion of self through the ego. Now the ego is essentially your mind creating a prison for yourself by defining a persona for you based on all the past hurts and traumas of yourself, and it is then actually utilizing all these events of your past to try and convince you that you are that persona that it creates for you. But in fact you're not. You are your soul, which is divine, and your soul is actually a monadic construct. It is singular, it is unconditional love, it is perfect in every way, and it doesn't need anything. But you don't realize that you are this divine soul, that you've actually lived for a long time, and that you will live for a long time, because in fact you're immortal. And you are very much caught up in the illusion of self, that you actually, this persona that your mind creates for you, and this feels, then you try and explain it, because the mind is a problem solver. It can't explain that you're so deeply obsessed that you're not yourself. And then, it starts bringing up things like this might be a demonic type infestation or possession of yourself, to try and drive you away from ascension, to try and drive you away from killing the ego, which is essentially what needs to happen within the dark night of the soul. You need to undergo an ego death so that your soul can shine through and you can live from that place of love and peace within yourself. And that's essentially the purpose of it. So you know, many times when you think you lost total control, it feels like an external entity has got hold of you. But that is the whole point. You're not in control. You were never in control. The ego is not in control of anything. The soul is. And once you realize this and you feel like you're losing total control, the ego tries to then justify itself and to fight for its own survival, and then it tells you, but this is a demonic possession, it is something external to you, it is the devil. Essentially the devil is manifested in your ego. It is through your own ego that all the evil actually manifests. You know, it is through bitterness and jealousy and hate and vindictiveness and things like that people do evil. You know, it is through rage, it's all symptoms of unhappiness that is created in your pain body by your mind, by your ego, and that is the manifestation of evil or demonic activity. And as such, this same ego is trying to now convince you that what's happening to you is external to yourself, but it's not. It is your soul trying to get your attention through a very painful process called the dark night of the soul, to actually teach you that you need to let go of the ego, that you need to undergo an ego death, so that you can live from your soul space, which is unconditional love. So nothing demonic about that. And I just wanted to share this message with you. Think about what I've said. Think about how it applies to your specific situation, and apply it as such. Remember, your mind is a very, very sneaky thing. It will try and accommodate itself in any way, form or fashion. It will try and keep those prison bars up. It will try and keep you trapped in the illusion of self. You're not your mind, you're not your ego, you're not your body, you are your immortal soul. And you have lived through many, many lifetimes to get here. You have lived through all iterations of life, whether good or bad. In some instances, you were the victim and you were abused. In some instances, in some lifetimes, you were the abuser. You have, at the time of ascension, actually experienced everything. You have been killed many times. You have killed many times. There is no good or evil. We've all undergone everything. And as such, now is the time that your soul is trying to get your attention, to break through that shell of the ego and to actually teach you how to live from your higher self, which is the best version of yourself. So nothing demonic about twin flame relationships. It happens for the sole purpose of ascension. When the soul is ready for ascension, the twins get together and this whole process triggers. So nothing sinister about it. The deep obsession, the deep craziness, that is all part of it. It is there to trigger you, it is there to confront your ego, and you have to get through that process to actually emerge as your soul on the other side, which is you. I hope this helps. Head on over to twinflamessionsa.wordpress.com, and there's a lot more information there. There's a course you can download, there's a book I've written about twin flame relationships that's available on Amazon. There's a full video course that explains all of this in a lot more detail, and you can book consultations with me. I really hope all the information I'm bringing you helps you, and I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Goodbye.